League of Legends is one of the most popular online games of all time. In 2022 itself, the player count of the game is approximately 180 million players worldwide. Now, what if I'm about to tell you this? League of Legends is actually a dying game. I'm sure some of you guys will rejoice. Some of you guys will probably think that I'm out of my mind. Of course, that sentence is not true at all unless you're playing in any of the Southeast Asia server. Also, before we start, I would like to emphasize that a dead game is not the same as a dying game. For example, a dead game is games like Terra Online, Spellbreak, and also Heroes of Newerth. Meanwhile, games like Overwatch, World of Warcraft, and PUBG is what I would consider a dying game.
I haven't seen a single player the whole game.
This is because there have been a lot of players that actually quit the game. And it is very unlikely that the player count will ever reach its peak again. Before we get into how many players is actually playing the game as of right now, let's rewind the time for a bit.
Once again, I stand at the brink of infinity. What lies beyond?
In 2018, Garena decided to pull the plug on Riot API. This means that players from Garena server will not be able to find their profiles in third-party sites such as Topi.gg. Therefore, the rough estimate numbers of players playing the game has been unknown to the public for the past 5 years. However, after Riot took over in January 2023, players will be able to look up their profiles and stats in these sites. In order to compare how many players is playing the game right now and in the past, I tried to search online for the game server population. And the last recorded stats are actually from an old Reddit thread from 5 years ago that shows ranked server population as of April 29, 2018. For now, let's only take a look at regions that used to be run by Garena. As Vietnam is the third most populous server back in 2018, let's start from there. As you can see, back then there are around 1.1 million accounts that have completed their provisional games. Comparing it to today, there is a huge 52% drop in the number of accounts, as there is only around 614,000 accounts that have completed their provisional rank games. Moving on to the Philippines, there are around 830,000 accounts that completed their provisional rank games 5 years ago. As of right now, there is only a mere 158,000 accounts that completed their provisional rank games. Stick around as I will explain the reason for the massive decline in League towards the end of this video. Moving on, let's have a look at both Thailand and Singapore server. Back in 2018, both servers have a rank population of 68,000 and 114,000 respectively. As of making this video, there's around 41 and 67,000 players that have completed their provisional rank games. This means that both of these servers have a 40% decrease in rank population. You should also remember that back in 2018, Indonesian server was shut down due to low server population, and because of this, they are forced to merge with Singapore server. Now, I know for a fact that these numbers will increase exponentially as soon as we get closer to the end of the season, as players will try to get their rank rewards.
Bronze 5. How's that bronze? Bronze fucking good.
These stats also makes me wonder, who is to blame for all this? Is it the game developers, the publisher, or is it the player themselves? Now from this point onwards, I'm just stating my opinion, so go ahead and feel free to disagree. I think that there is some of you guys that will definitely say Riot is the ones at fault here for not taking any actions. Although it is true that Riot could have done some things better for the game, such as improving their client.
Wait, did I even accept the game? Wait, what just happened? Wait, what the fuck? Did I click accept? I don't remember clicking a button.
Improving rank matchmaking, making the game a much more new players friendly.
For a random player that has never played League before to start playing League right now, out of nowhere, do you guys realize how hard it is to get to know 170 champs or whatever? When the game is so complex and so many items, runes, masteries, so many combos, so many spells, it's impossible. Especially when the tutorial is so fucked and bad.
And also balancing the game itself. I think that Riot actually did a pretty good job to make players stay addicted to the game.
It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So I can't quit!
And that's about it. This is because, unlike in Southeast Asia, League of Legends is actually still a growing game. As you can see, most of the servers maintained by Riot is surprisingly still in a healthy state, even if there has been more players nowadays saying that the game is getting more toxic or unplayable at times. Personally though, I feel that Garena could have done so much more to improve the state of the game in Southeast Asia. For example, one of the main problems in Southeast Asia server is that the game is just too toxic. I'm not kidding, but almost every single game you play, there'll always be that one player showing negative attitude and another player using more energy typing in chat rather than playing the game, which leads to the game being one-sided most of the time. There has been a lot of cases where players were using scripts, not just in high-ranking games, but even in pre-level 30 games. The worst thing is, even if these players are reported, there rarely is any repercussion at all. Now, I'm not going to accuse Garena for not moderating their game at all, but I think that Garena did not really take moderation of the game seriously enough, or they are just taking their time. And because of this, the game becomes way more unpleasant and frustrating to play. Another thing that Garena could have done much better is listening to players' feedback. Because if you're wondering what giving feedback feels like in Garena server, let me just show you what it feels like.
You just put it in the box. Just right in the box. I'll just put it in the box. Complaint box is a paper shredder, isn't it, Matt?
Of course, let's not forget that Garena is infamous for the way they monetize the game, which certainly gives Garena a bad reputation from the League community. But this does not really affect the gameplay as much, so I don't think it's the main issue for the decline in League. Last but not least, let's try not to put all the blame on Garena. Let's talk about Southeast Asia for a moment. Southeast Asia is still considered as a growing region in the world. Wages there are not high unlike in Europe or North America. The only country considered to be a first world nation is Singapore, and that's about it. Because of low wages and increasing daily expenses, having a desktop or laptop is still considered to be a luxury. Hence, for youngsters, it is normal for them to go into an internet cafe to play PC games. And because of COVID restriction, many players were not able to play the game, because many internet cafes are forced to close their doors. The one source of entertainment that every Southeast Asian has is their mobile phone, as nowadays, mid-tier phones are getting more advanced and affordable. And because of this, mobile gaming dominates Southeast Asia. Games such as Mobile Legends, Garena Free Fire, Call of Duty Mobile becomes everyone's preferred games. Alright, I'm sure that there is a lot more problems that cause League to decline in Southeast Asia, such as the massive amount of smurfs in the game. All I'm hoping for is that Riot Games will actually take action so that old players will come back, or even better, attract new players into the game. If not, I believe that some servers, such as Thailand, Singapore and the Philippines, will probably close down in a couple of years. Oh wells, you know what? We are already in rock bottom. I don't think anything Riot does at this point of time will affect our experience negatively, and the only way from here is up. It seems that I have completely forgotten about the Taiwan server when I'm actually editing the video. My bad, I know. So here we go. Unsurprisingly, the Taiwanese servers is also on a decline as of right now. I don't think it's as bad as Southeast Asia, as there is only a 25% drop in the number of accounts that have completed their provisional rank games. So yeah, there we go. Oh, and by the way, before the video ends, I just want to say thank you for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys soon. Probably. Yeah, see ya.